Karma is an ancient Indian concept which basically means what goes around comes around. The idea is that what you do to others, you can expect to happen to you. So if you're a good person, then good things will happen to you, and likewise if you're a bad person, bad things will happen to you. Not only that, but if you do a lot of bad things, then you'll keep reincarnating on Earth until you balance all your bad deeds with good deeds. I want to clarify some things about karma and how the original concept of karma has been distorted over time to the point where now most people associate karma with good and bad, which is fundamentally incorrect. Firstly, I just want to clarify that there is no good or bad in the grand scheme of things. There is only choice. I also want to point out that you will never break the cycle of karma because that is impossible. Even the saints and ascended masters have karma. Without karma, none of the universes or dimensions could exist. Karma has nothing to do with good or bad actions in the traditional sense, but has everything to do with the balance of intentions. I'll explain. When you perform an action, it is never the action itself that matters, but rather the intention behind the action. So you can do all the good things in the world, but if your intentions are negatively aligned, then you'll be accumulating negative karma. Likewise, you can do all the bad things in the world, and if you have positively aligned intentions behind those bad things, you'll accumulate positive karma. It is also important to note that you may be able to fool other people and even yourself about your intentions, but you will never, and I mean never, fool your soul. I need to deviate slightly here to explain briefly what I mean when I say fooling yourself, but not your soul. Your soul is the real eternal you that inhabits your body. Before you incarnated into your body, you existed in spirit form as a soul. Your soul is the part of you that is source consciousness, that yearns to experience self in its fullest divine glory. As soon as your soul inhabits a body, you inherit an ego. Your ego is the false, temporary aspect of you that allows you to have your spiritual amnesia and gives you the illusion of being separate from everything else. It is the part of you that doesn't want to die or suffer and will do whatever it can to survive. So when I say that you can fool yourself but not your soul, what I mean is that you may do something which in reality is derived from a negative intention, but you can convince yourself, because of your ego, that you're doing it for the right reasons and believe that it is therefore justified and positively aligned. The real you, that is your soul, knows all of your true intentions. A good way to know if you're lying to yourself is if you need to convince yourself that your intentions are positively aligned. You never ever need to convince yourself when your intentions are positive. Now back to karma. Why do I say that it is impossible to break the cycle of karma? The simple answer is because without karma there can be no balance, and without balance nothing would exist. When the vast spectrum of duality was created, Source Consciousness needed a way to make sure that all of its desired experience would be fulfilled. Every single universe and dimension that exists has karma associated with it. No matter what universe or dimension you exist in, it is true that you will keep re-experiencing the same events within that universe or dimension until your karma is balanced. Your karma becomes balanced once you have fulfilled your soul's desire. Once your karma in a particular universe or dimension is balanced, then your soul will generally transcend that place and move into a higher state of consciousness. That higher state of consciousness, however, also has karma associated with it, which the soul must now transcend before it can move up to an even higher state of consciousness. This is only to make sure that your soul gets to experience in the fullest what it desired to experience. I'll give you an earthly example. The aspect of you that is source consciousness, that is your soul, knew exactly what it wanted to experience before you came into your body here on earth. Let's say you wanted to experience happiness. In the world of duality, in order to have the experience of happiness, you also need to have the experience of its opposite, sadness. Why? Because if all you felt was happy, then you would not know that you are happy, because there is no benchmark to compare happiness. Once you experience sadness and then experience happiness, you can fully appreciate the experience in its entirety. It is precisely because of karma that you experience all the good and bad in your life, so that your soul can finally know what it is to be happy. There is literally no end to the number of experiences your soul can choose from before you started your earthly quest, so you don't need to actually experience everything that this universe has to offer, or you would keep reincarnating here for eternity. There are core experiences, however, which every soul on earth must go through before you can transcend this earthly plane and not need to reincarnate here anymore. Forgiveness and unconditional love are the two main experiences, and until you can do these, you will keep coming back. So how do you break the cycle of karma here on earth so you don't need to come back? The answer is to make sure that you are completely honest with yourself, so that all your thoughts and actions are aligned with positive intentions. Sounds hard, right? How on earth can you do that? Simply be in the now, because that is all that matters and that is all that exists. Not the past or the future, but the now. To help you center yourself in the now, you can start by meditating for at least 20 minutes every day. Kriya Yoga is another tool you can use. As soon as you start to quiet your mind, then you will automatically start to open up to your soul, which communicates to you through your feelings. Once you start aligning with your soul, you can actually ask it questions and replay events that have happened in your life that you may regret or feel guilty about. And your soul will give you advice as to how you could have engaged in that particular event differently, so you wouldn't have felt the regret or guilt. This is actually the first step to self-forgiveness and bringing your karma back into balance. More than likely, you will go through the same or similar experience again, but you will now be in a position to act out of your soul's intentions rather than your ego's intentions. As you practice more and more being honest with yourself, it will soon become second nature. I should point out, though, that when you start, it is very likely that you will need to face what some people call your shadow, and this can be very unpleasant. Your shadow is the darker aspect of you that you generally don't want to face, and so you bury it deep down into your subconscious. Your shadow aspects are things like feeling guilty about something that happened, or having something that happened which you wish did not happen. Normally, when your shadow shows itself, you try to bury it by creating a diversion, for example, drinking alcohol. Because facing these shadow aspects of yourself is crucial to fulfill the soul's desired experience, by not facing your shadow self, what you are in effect doing is not allowing your soul to have the particular experience it desires. Because of this, your soul will keep recreating the same events in your life until you act with the intention of your soul. If you come to the end of your life and you haven't faced your shadow side, then you will reincarnate back onto earth and have the same experience again and again until you do. I completely understand that some of you may start on the path of facing your shadow and then shy away due to the fear, but please be aware that your shadow is not real. It cannot hurt you. It is only an illusion created by you so that you can experience unconditional love, which in reality is all that exists. As you face your shadow, look at it for what it is, an illusion. Also, as difficult as it may sound, send it love. That's right, love your shadow with the understanding that it is frightened and only wants to be loved. As soon as you start loving yourself in totality, that is the light and the shadow aspects of you, then you will start experiencing what unconditional love really is, and bring your karma back into balance. All of this starts and ends with you.